Notts County Talk, we are live with episode 15 of the Pavis Perspective. I did think, George, that would have at least one win when we were doing last week's preview. Obviously, Eastleigh and Boreham Wood. I did think we'd have at least one win, but it's not played out that way. We've come away with a poor defeat against Eastleigh. No way you can look at it. I know we've not scored at Eastleigh. They've got a good home record. It's a poor defeat. And then, what do you make of the Boreham Wood result?
I think on paper, individually looking at that result, it's a good result for me. I think look at where they are in the table, look how many they've conceded. They've run never on when we went in to play them. Solid side, very good National League side, and it's surprising how well they're doing, really, considering they have lost Tashamanga. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, if since he's left, everyone sort of stepped up and they're sort of playing better as a unit. But yeah, I mean, you talk about Eastleigh as well. You look at us like we've never scored at their place, have we, since we've been in the National League?
No.
They're a bit of a bogey team for us, aren't they, when we play them away, it seems. So you take the banana skin, but let's just hope that's what it is, a banana skin, and we can just sort of get a bit of form together now, because it just feels a little bit patchy at the minute, doesn't it? Like we'll go on a few games unbeaten, and then we'll surprisingly lose in a bad performance. We just want to see a lot less of that, and I'm hoping it's one of few slip-ups this season. I really am, because in my match reaction after Boreham Wood, as the time I recorded, I said Notts were 9 points off Chesterfield because Altrincham equalised late. So we're only 7 points off the top now. And when you think how many games left to go, Chesterfield are going to go for a rough patch. They have to. Tashamanga may be leaving. I can't remember what his name is, but one of their key players is injured until January. So we might see a little bit of a decline from Chesterfield. I think it's all up for grabs, but we do need to just start ticking a bit better now and get a long run of games together. Just have a bit of confidence, and hopefully as well we get a bit more luck with injuries, because I feel like the luck we've had of injuries has been terrible.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums the episode up, so I think we'll leave it there then.
Yeah, you know what it is. I'm sat in my armchair tonight because it got delivered last week. I've waited 8 months for this armchair.
Go on, tell us the story very quickly.
Right, I moved house in February, ordered a sofa and an armchair. It was supposed to be delivered on the 10th of May. It just kept getting pushed back. I was so close to just cancelling the order, but I was 6 months deep, and I thought, I can't do it. I'm too deep. It could get delivered in 2 weeks. And I just had that mindset then until the day it was delivered, which was last Monday. I've pretty much lived in it. So that's why I look pretty cozy tonight, arms up on the armchair. I'm happy.
And you paired it with a mug? Or have you not got one tonight?
I haven't got one with me, no. No drinking on the new sofa, Tom. Come on.
No drinking on the new sofa. Evening to everyone that's joined us. Plenty of you again. Cameron, Callum, Chris, Ellie, Ian. Thank you for joining us again. So yeah, basically, what you said, I agree with everything so far, to be honest with you, George. I know neither of us could make the Eastleigh game. Fair play who did make the Eastleigh game. It's a very long run, and also fair play for those that made the Boreham Wood trip as well. We struggle midweek away games just due to work, isn't it?
There's no way I could get to Boreham Wood on a Tuesday night after work. Not a chance.
And it's gutting as well. But, I listened to the Eastleigh game. Obviously, I did the reaction for that Eastleigh game, and we created very, very little. And I know it's early in the season, and people say we're talking about tiredness and things like that. I think it's a fair point. I do think it's a fair point, because, you played Rochdale twice. Literally played Rochdale twice. Rochdale are good. They're a good side. Like they're a league above us. It's going to be more tiring to play against. You'd have to up your game, 10, 20%. The way we're fighting this National League this season's crazy. Teams that you would have walked over in the past 2 years, we've got to up our game. So, and we've not really had too much rotation. I think Ruben's only missed the Wrexham game. Is that the only game he hasn't started or something like that? Absolutely mad. Right. So I think you could have that as a one-off. Maybe every team's going to have that, like you say. But Boreham Wood, I feel particularly gutted with. I know you're seeing it as a good point. On paper, it's a good point.
If we win on Saturday, it's a very good point. But we didn't. Yeah, but so it kind of takes away from it.
It does massively take away from it. But, if we'd have beat Boreham Wood, we'd held on to the result. It takes the pressure off Saturday. And now, all of a sudden, it's ridiculous. We're in November. almost December and we've had like 5 must-win games. I put Yeovil in that, we won. I put Grimsby in that, we won. I probably put Stockport in that, we won. There's another couple that are must-wins, and we're only in November.
Yeah.
It shows how ridiculously strong this league is. Absolutely ridiculous.
It does, and it's something that we've talked about. I mean, I briefly mentioned it in my reaction. Mentality of the squad to get up for games that maybe aren't as, headliner, if you will. It's easy to get up for a Stockport. It's easy to get up for Grimsby away. Those sorts of games. But when it's come to Eastleigh, I feel like maybe they've struggled a little bit to have that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing it. It must be hard to be on like top morale week in, week out, and just be happy and be ticking and playing really well. But they've had the time now, haven't they? They've gelled, and it just sounded like a performance that was a bit off key, really, because we've played really well this season. And I feel like this last couple of games really has identified weaknesses within the squad. We can't defend crosses very well.
Yeah.
Which is something that we're going to be working on, I'm sure, tirelessly. So there's that, and it's doing what with possession, because I was looking at some of the possession tables. I don't know if you've seen them scattered around. We're top for possession in the league, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's like we need to make something of that. It's all good having high possession, but we just need to be a bit more aggressive in possession, a bit more brave, and be willing to do, I think.
But I also think we need to shoot on sight a bit more. It's going back to an old football cliche. Like, I do think football is more than just shooting on sight, definitely. But there's opportunities where you've just got to take your chances. I look back and I think Tamworth at home, Kyra Mitchell has a pop from quite a way out. Goal. It's that simple. Goalkeepers in this league are in this league for a reason. And if you catch them off guard, even if it's a split second, you've got a good chance of scoring. There's other games where you hit it first time, you're going to win the game. I think Cal Roberts' older shot at home, if I remember right, laid off by Ruben. First time, keeper's got no chance. We're getting to the edge of the box. We've got players that can score from outside the area. Even though he's not scored yet, we've seen Matty Palmer have some rockets, haven't we? We've seen Joel Taylor hit one that was unbelievably safe. Was that against Tamworth? I believe it was.
Yeah.
It's that taking a chance when we've got it. Don't try and walk it in, because I don't know what it is. They seem
be tenacious.
They seem frightened to just have that effort. Maybe they think they're not going to get too many efforts in the game and they've got to make that one count. But it just doesn't. We don't see the word I'm looking for is clinical. It's clinical. So I think Ian said here, Tuesday didn't convert enough possession into goals. That's what you were talking about, George. Second half, John and Ruben got through on goal, and instead of shooting, they tried to square it. Exactly. Just hit it. You never know what's going to happen. Rebounds, literally anything. I'm going to go on to a point that I've just seen in the chat. I don't want to slate players on the channel, but I'm not really slating. It's going to be a discussion. But if you haven't seen at the bottom, we've got an announcement tonight. We're very excited, aren't we, George? 8 o'clock.
Super excited, yeah.
Very, very excited for this. So we will we'll have a look at that in a second. So this is what I'm bringing up. It was hard seeing Pato go. We can't blame Slocum. Second goal against Eastleigh. What does everyone think?
Stinker, innit? If you're going to be honest, it's such a howler. It was the worst possible time for him to do something like that, I think. I mean, there's no right time to do something like that, but just after, someone that's been ahead of you in terms of selection has had to be pulled out of the squad to come in, and everyone sort of wanting you to, and I'm sure he would have wanted to have shown, he is a quality keeper, and he has been a quality keeper for Notts. I feel like Pato's very, very good, but there's a reason he's a Sunderland player in League One. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to be difficult to have a keeper like that and hold on to him. I'm not totally against the idea of him coming back either. It might unrest a couple of heads, but I mean maybe one head. But you've got, at the end of the day, you've got to do what's right for the club. I don't think I think it's early days to be slating Slocum, and I understand it was gutting to see Pato go. It really was, because he was class, really good. His footwork was good. His shot, like, saves were unbelievable sometimes. Like some of the saves he pulled off. But I don't know. I just feel like goalkeeping's the least of our worries at the minute.
I don't think it is.
Do you think it's that important? Do you think Slocum's that bad of a
no,
keeper?
I don't think he's a bad keeper. I don't think he's a bad keeper, because in that Eastleigh game, you know, he's made a fair few saves. Like, he's a good goalkeeper. He is. We've seen before. I think the first season we were in this division, or the second season, like, there was a one-on-one. It always sticks in my mind. It's weird. Certain things stick in my mind. Dagenham and Redbridge at home. I think you'll remember it. 2-0 up. Tide starts turning the game. They get through on goal. It's a tap-in. An unbelievable save. Unbelievable one-on-one save. Was it Tyson in the Chesterfield game? Unbelievable save.
There was a couple of chances like that, though.
Yeah, there was.
He has no right to save it, and he just pulls off a unbelievable save, really.
Yeah, but then I think the only issue is from crosses. That's the only issue.
Yeah. He's a little bit hesitant to collect, isn't he? That is literally his only problem. And maybe, you could say playing out from the back doesn't suit him as much as it does Patterson. But comparison, I mean, you can compare him as much as you like. Like, we don't have him at the minute. He's still a good keeper.
Yeah, and I hope he comes back. Even if Slocum starts playing amazing, I hope Patterson does come back just to keep the pressure on. Like, I think it's healthy. Like, Slocum's not got any real challenges at the minute. Ellie says he's a good goalkeeper. There's obviously better ones at this level. Who's that guy that always has a blinder against Notts?
He quite a big lad.
Boreham Wood. Yeah, he was at Boreham Wood. He's decent at this level, but
seems to be, yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Eastleigh game. There's loads of questions coming in about a certain striker at the club that we are going to talk about. Yeah, we'll get onto that in a second. So yeah, the Eastleigh game felt a bit flat after that. I struggled to really have a reaction to that, because it felt like we were on such a good run, and I don't know. That's sometimes I'm a bit, if not on a good run and they play a side that are lower down the table, I feel a bit nervous. And for the first time, I felt confident. Like, I thought we were going to beat Eastleigh, and then all of a sudden, as football goes, it's just not turned out that way. So Eastleigh game comes, and I think Boreham Wood, and I think I'm safe to say, when I put it out on Twitter how people are feeling, people were not that confident against Boreham Wood. And I think you messaged me saying that you all of a sudden, sort of midday to like late afternoon, the confidence has sort of gone from you, hadn't it, ahead of that game?
Yeah, I heard it's a cruel old game, because I remember doing my fan chat with Luke. What game was it? Solihull, I think it was. After the Solihull game, and it was like, I remember saying to him, "You just feel like you have confidence in the squad now. The way they've played, the way they, consecutively week in week out putting on a good performance, and they're never really being outclassed. To then go and lose 2-0 and convincingly lose 2-0." You sort of lose that confidence, and that's football. Like, one bad performance can seep so much doubt into you, especially as a Notts fan, because you've seen it happen all before, haven't you? But yeah, I did. I lost my confidence a little bit, and then on the flip side to that, I feel like what we've been saying a lot this season as well, getting up for the bigger games, in it. And I don't know if anyone listened along, and for the people that were there, I think there was 800 fans there, and 300 or 400 of those being Notts fans. You might have even outnumbered the home fans, I'm not sure. So it's not like they've got a fantastic home support, is it?
Apparently, yeah.
And it's not like it's not like a massive game.
But it was dubious counting, apparently. Slater was saying that definitely had more than was said. It makes me laugh, but it's just the way we've conceded and how many chances we've had. Go on.
It sounded like we were playing really well. We had our chances, just lacking that clinical edge, and it seems to be the case. And I'm starting to think now, as we edge towards January, it's something that we're going to need to put right in the market, I think.
Well, that brings us nicely onto what everyone is talking about in the chat. I can't put them all up because there's quite a lot of people that have already been asking us to speak about it. George. So we all thought there were scouts looking at Ruben in the last home game. What's it come out that the rumours are that it was?
Well, I was reading an article from portsmouth.co.uk, so you'd think that it's quite a trusted source. That they're watching Wotton because they're having a bit of problem with their strike force, aren't they, at the minute? When you look at his return, it's not too bad, is it? I think 46 goals in 100 appearances or something around those figures anyway, which is a good return. Surprised me a little bit. I don't know. I feel like you don't really see him as. I mean, he's obviously the main goal scorer at the club, but he's not going to be a 30 goal a season striker, is he?
No, not in National League level. No.
So, I mean, it's an interesting one for sure. If we lose him, who do we bring in? Just someone step up. For me, I feel like we've got to dip into the market and maybe buy someone who's proven at this level. Maybe it'd be a bit of an older striker, maybe like late 20s, early 30s. It's difficult this time of the season because who really wants to sell a striker, like a good striker at that?
What I worry about though is we haven't entered contract talks with him, and if he were to go on a free, I think that would be an absolute disaster. Nothing short of a disaster. He's probably, you look at Ruben, maybe Matty Palmer the way he's playing, and probably when he's back full firing cow, he's probably our fourth, maybe even third biggest asset at the club. And if you want to make this model work, you can't sign a player for money. What is it? It's about 60k, and then let him go for free. Unbelievable. I don't think that's what will happen. I think it's very, very poor if it does. And that worries me more than the fact he's going, because then, all of a sudden we've lost money on him. Who are we going to replace him with?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because all of a sudden then, I don't know.
My thoughts on it are, I think obviously the model we've adopted, it sort of puts the pressure on to get like a fee for a player that we have. It's sort of part of what we're doing at the minute. But when you look at Wotton's output for us in the last 2 seasons, I think what we've paid for him, we've got our money's worth. But obviously, we can't be looking at it like that now because supposedly that's not what we're going for as a club, and that's not what the owners want. But when you think of how much we paid for him and what is delivered at Notts, it's quite incredible, really. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But on the flip side to that, when you think about what we've had off the return of buying one, it's
but have we got what we paid for? Because if you're paying for players in this league, you want promotion.
Yeah, I mean
that's the way I see it. You bought a striker.
No, I agree. But he's, to my knowledge, under the new owners, the biggest signing, the biggest fee we've paid for a player.
Yeah, I think so.
And what was it, like 60 grand?
Yeah,
I think it was, wasn't it? It's not massive, is it? It's one player. I mean, you're looking, for me, I think back to the playoff final. There's not really a lot that he can do when people at the other end of the pitch are maybe letting him down a little bit. And I feel like when he's there, he can be counted on. But then there's also times I feel like he has chances that I feel like I could score. Do you know what I mean? And I've not laced up my boots for a while now.
I've seen you play 5-a-side, and I promise you couldn't score them.
Yeah, honestly. I'm more of a holding midfielder.
In a 5-a-side, you don't have a holding midfielder at 5-a-side.
You do when I'm there. You do
Macaulay, you're all.
Yeah.
But people are putting how much they think he might be worth. There's 200k put out there, 80k, 150k, 100k. For me, I know you're saying there's chances he should be scoring. I do not disagree with you at all. There's some chances, especially in that 13-game goalless run last year, which I was just like, oh my goodness me. Like, actually, George could probably score that. But for me, he's so important. Like, there's times in a game where we're under pressure, and he's developed this under Bertrand, I think, and the ball will come, and we're under so much pressure, and he will just hold it up for 2, 3, 4 seconds, and it allows everyone else to get up 10 yards. And I think he's so important. And I've just seen someone mention, is there anything for Eli Sam to prove? I hate to say it because I think there's something there. I think his time's completely done. Like, he couldn't even get on against Tamworth at home. I don't think he came on in that game. Every time he's come on, he's been poor. I feel like his confidence is shot. Cairo Mitchell, really, really promising when he came in, but we need to see a bit more from him. We've paid for a player. Do you know what I mean? We need to see a little bit more from him.
Every time I talk about Cairo Mitchell, it reminds me that I can't even remember who it was. Someone tweeted that Cairo is going to outscore Tashimanga.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, but the season's not done.
It's not.
Tashimanga scored like 2 a game, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think he's scored like 7 games in a row. But there's still time. If Tashimanga can do that, Cairo Mitchell can do that. So what I'm really getting at is if Wootton were to go in January, which I can't see it. I can't see it in January. We would have no replacement for him and no one you can bring in. You couldn't go out and pick up Michael Cheek. I've seen someone suggest in January. You couldn't go and pick up a player like Tashimanga in January. And if it's to leave in the summer, depends what league we're in. You know, would he be here? Would he still be here if we don't go up? I doubt it. Like, he'll be in League 2.
Yeah, I think we'll see a bit of a correction if we don't go up this season. A few players leave.
A fair few, yeah. Who would we go for replacement? I think, Chris, it would be someone that we might not have heard of. You know, but the only problem is you can get someone like an Eli Sam, or you can pick up someone like a Ruben Rodriguez. So
yeah, the disappointing thing is, right, and I kind of forgot about this. I was speaking to Daz, who won the mug on one of the first giveaways we did a couple of weeks ago. And he was saying that he thinks Brexit sort of ruined the model as such, because we can't bring in overseas players. And you're looking at Ruben Rodriguez being the pinnacle of that, and you're just thinking, like, that's such a good point. Like, do you know if we had the ability to pluck these like players from abroad like Ruben? I mean, Elisha Sam maybe, but they're not always going to work out, are they?
No.
It's scary to think what sort of players we could have.
I don't know the ins and outs of all that, to be fair. I don't actually know.
It's about the working visa, isn't it? It's supposed to be difficult to get a working visa at National League level. Well, below League 2.
Yeah. I wondered how long it took 22 minutes for someone to mention the frost protectors at Chesterfield. We could do a 40-minute segment.
Do you know what? Yeah, I normally sort of like, I've got to look at things with a level head, but it for me is a joke. A month before Christmas Day, right? Give or take a few days, they release a GoFundMe for some frost covers when they've just forked out X amount for Tashimanga, and they're paying him whatever they're paying him a week.
6K a week.
Is it 6K a week?
That's what I've heard. That's silly money. That's more than you're on.
Tashimanga, should I say to Tashimanga, just, we'll pay you $2,000 a week for 3 weeks, and frost covers paid for.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much into it, but I agree with you. It's just, but then again, because they're doing well, it just sounds really salty and bitter. But if you take the football thing away from it and the fact of what it is, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
I think credit to Chesterfield that how well they're doing, and fair play to them. But they've done a few things now where it's a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could swap our frost sheets for Tashimanga. I agree there, Callum. At least we'll be having games when there's a postpone. So, there's that as well. Build up at the end of this. That's the plan. Fixture build up at the end of the season for them because they had no frost covers. Pip them at the last. I'd be worried as a Chesterfield fan if the club can't afford frost covers. Literally boom or bust this season. I'd be interested to see what happens next season because there's some teams that have paid big money this year. Big money. It's going to be really interesting. And Notts aren't one of them. So, it feels like this season, if we don't go up, the other team's just going to become incredibly strong. Maybe it won't work that way. It's interesting, but we're not going to talk about that because Notts hopefully are going to go up this season.
Chris has made a good point there, to be fair.
Go on.
About next season. Being worried to be a Chesterfield fan. Because you look at some of the things they did last season, I obviously don't want to delve in too much to it, but with all the furlough stuff, they can't have loads of money behind them, can they? I mean, I don't know. I've not looked at their books and it's all hearsay, but I would be concerned if I was a Chesterfield fan.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds anyway. The end of this season is going to be the maddest we've had, I think. It's going to be crazy. So a couple of minutes until we do our announcement we're very excited about. So obviously we're on BT this week, George. 5:20 kickoff. I know you thought it was 3:00. You're ready to meet people at 2:00. A bit early, but there you go.
Yeah.
Dagenham and Redbridge. Now, a few weeks ago, I looked at this as a very, very, very difficult fixture, but they've sort of dropped off a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, started really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And I'm just looking at the results. Lost 1-0 to Eastleigh on Tuesday. Imagine losing to Eastleigh.
Terrible. That's poor.
It's poor, that is. Lost to Yeovil. Imagine losing to Yeovil, though.
They seem to be on a bit of a upward, though, at the minute. Yeovil do. They seem to be doing quite well.
Yeah, they seem to be doing well. Maybe we sparked something. So they've lost 2 in a row without scoring. They beat Maidenhead before that. There you go. Drew with Chesterfield, but then they lost to Halifax. So, 1 win in 5, 3 losses. Those 3 losses they didn't score. At Medlane. Medlane's a difficult place for anyone to come now. So I'm feeling pretty confident. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling fairly confident. I feel like at home, the confidence is buzzing.
So I'm just reading some of the comments. People are not happy about Chesterfield, and rightly so. Like,
I'm right with you as well.
Yeah, I know
I'm a little bit more vocal in the group chats than I would be on here because I can't say certain things, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people very, very opinionated about it, and it's not just us; it's on the National League pages as well. A lot of people talking about. I actually
saw a Dagenham and Redbridge fan talking about it on Twitter. I don't know if it was one of their fan pages or something. He was saying credit to how well they've done this season and so on and so forth, but the frost covers thing is a bit of a
it's
push too far.
We're never good on TV though, Richard says. I think we've improved a little bit recently.
Yeah, someone at my work was saying that to me today, but I feel like of recent last couple of years we've sort of put that to bed a little bit.
The Torquay one in the playoffs, obviously a write-off.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I know you cried there.
Harrogate as well.
Yeah, Harrogate. But then we've had games like, Wrexham on TV, which we are okay.
Yeah.
There's been some decent games on TV. We had 2 Wrexham in a row on TV, haven't we? Looking at the table, Chesterfield, Boreham Wood, Grimsby, who are not having a great time, are they? Lost 2-0 to Solihull. They're not doing very well. They won against Southend, but who hasn't won against Southend this season? They'll probably have a dead strong squad by the time we play them and be on the up. Same with Dover. They haven't won a game yet, and by the time we play them, they'll probably be on a winning run. But yeah, Grimsby have fallen off, so it goes to show you how quickly teams can fall off in this league. What I want to talk about before we go on to our announcement and the team news is Cal Roberts and his shift from trying to score the goals to making the goals. I think personally what Bertrand is doing there is transforming him. I go back to the record-breaking attendance game against Solihull. The ball through to Taylor does not get enough. Doesn't get enough credit. The ball through is defence splitting. It's unbelievable, and it allows Taylor the time to put it on a plate. He's set up. He's setting up multiple things on the pitch now, and I don't think it's as much now as fitting him in a formation. I think he's starting to learn what Bertrand wants from him a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's fair point.
Do you think that maybe though? I don't know. Do you think he's frustrated? Do you think he wants to play that role?
Yeah, I mean, I reckon he probably does.
What you think he'd rather be a scorer?
Yeah, I feel like you're looking at the Cal Roberts from not last season, season before. The first season we signed him, those last few games, he was incredible. Like he was, everything good that was happening on the pitch was coming through him.
Best thing since sliced bread.
You said it.
It was good, but he didn't have Ruben in the team then, and Cal was the main man. This time, there's different players in that side. Like the quality of squad from that first season, we had some shocking players. We had Christian Oxlade-Chamberlain playing in the squad, albeit for a very, very short amount of time, living off his surnames. We had McCrory who was okay. We had Turner who was okay. We didn't have any fantastic players. So the shift is now. I'm happy for him to come into the side, and I'd be happy for him to start as well in a midfield role. I think he's sort of starting to adapt.
Yeah, I do feel like he's starting to adapt, but you can't help but feel like he's going 1-to-1 with a fullback. He's all better for it.
Yeah, Chris has just said basically what I was trying to say as well. I reckon Ian Birchley is working on turning Kant to a more rounded player rather than a winger with quick feet. You know, if you can get that part of the game, you can have him in multiple formations. You can literally play him when we want a winger and stick him out wide, and the opponents aren't going to know what kind of Carl Roberts is turning up.
Yeah.
He's a very, very, very good player. And you look on another day, that shot against Grimsby before we scored our goal could have been a goal. And the one where he hits the bar late on, oh my goodness, that against Bromley.
Yes, it was.
I don't know if it was you or someone we were sat with was halfway out the seat thinking it had gone in.
Probably me.
Yeah, that would have literally exploded him into form, I think, massively. Someone mentioned the fixtures we've got coming up. So
hold on. It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Go on. We'll do our little announcement. So excited about this. Are you? It's been a long time in the planning and preparation.
It has, yeah. It really has.
Unfortunately, I see a lot of people tweeting about mugs. It's not mugs, I'm afraid. Although they will be coming. Might do some more around Christmas or maybe a little bit after Christmas to cheer people up for the. Why are you showing that, George?
Just getting the punters going.
Go on, George, show that again. It's not a Notts County Talk hoodie.
It's not a Notts County Talk hoodie. No.
He's not giving away a sofa. It's not actually a giveaway.
I'd never give this sofa away.
No. But next week on the channel, we are going to be having Ruben Rodriguez joining us. But it's been a long time in the planning, hasn't it, George? He will be joining us for a video. It was going to be released, I think, next Friday night. So we haven't obviously got a game at the weekend. We're going to have Ruben on the channel. Very, very, very excited to have him on. We want your questions. So tomorrow night, we're going to put a tweet up. We're going to collect all the questions from that tweet. We'll put your question to Ruben Rodriguez as long as it's a decent question. Don't be doing what people were doing on the last video or the Instagram and asking him what his favourite flavour crisp were, because we're not going to be asking him that. But literally, whatever question you have for Ruben, no, George, whatever question you have for Ruben, literally send it in to us tomorrow night. Look out for our tweet, and we're going to be having a favourite drink. No, but there we go. So we're following up our favourite player, Dion Kelly-Evans, with Ruben Rodriguez. George, you buzzing for that?
Absolutely buzzing, yeah. He's a great lad, isn't he? Great to have him on the channel. Fan favourite. He's hot in form. It couldn't have been anyone better, really, could it?
Does he get a mug? Unfortunately not. He'd have to actually win it. But yeah, he's
why not?
Donating the signed shirt for when we did our half marathon as well. Just fantastic of him. Like the money that raised gone to the Notts County Foundation. We'll obviously talk about that with him, but yeah, just something we're very, very excited to bring you. We hope you guys enjoy it next Friday night to pass the weekend without a Notts County game. So I just mentioned Dion Kelly-Evans. I've seen a few people saying he's not good enough. I can't be having that.
Well, I think he's been quite good.
There is something attacking wise from him though.
Yeah, he's not always got the beating of his man, has he? And he does sort of, when he runs into trouble, sort of you see him turning, don't you, to sort of turn to see if he's got a pass on. So he doesn't have that to his game. But I feel like he links up really well. He just can't take a man on. But he can sometimes, but not all the time. And with the main's got he got like a broken bone in his hand or something, so he's out for a little bit.
Who's that?
The main.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's going to be his space in the squad for a while.
So. But can you get promoted with a wing back that can't attack as well as Birchnell clearly wants? We're an attacking side with a wing back that can't attack. Max, I love Dion Kelly-Evans, but I would like to see Brindley at right wing back for a game and have our best centre back with Taylor at left wing back. Dion could be better at getting the ball in the box with quality. Wing backs are pivotal in our system. They are so important. Look at the impact Joel Taylor's making one side. Dion's not quite doing it the other side. Like Taylor against Solihull got the goal that catapulted us to winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all a balancing act.
Got the assist for the goal. Yeah.
I mean, it would be ideal. And to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing Brindley because I don't think Brindley's probably got quite a good delivery on him. He's quick. He's got the beating of a man as well, more so than Kelly-Evans. But I don't feel like you can have a player who's going to be top draw like Taylor has been in every position. I mean, I'm looking more so at the defense when I say that, because you look at like midfield and attack for me is pretty solid. We could maybe do with a midfielder that is probably a bit of a brute in midfield now and again. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? He's not a all out holding sort of midfielder, is he, to clear up with Vincent and Palmer in front of him. And then defensively, it's a little bit unsettled, I feel like, because Rawlinson, inconsistent. Lacey, you're never going to get, it seems like, a full season out of him because he's quite injury prone. Chickson, he does well when he comes in, but he never seems to get a run in the squad, does he? Because of other set, he's not like an all-out centre back, because you've got Cameron who plays that left centre back role that he plays, and then Brinley seems to be playing right centre back. So to have a player who's bang on in every position in this league is going to be hard anyway, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be on our budget.
Yeah, to be sensible as well. That's
Yeah.
the key word. We've already spoken about a team that aren't necessarily being sensible. What I'd love for not them to be promoted. Be great. Anyway, let's go on to our side for Saturday then. 5:20, so please don't turn up too early. 5:20, in goal. This time last week, we were putting Patterson in goal. By the morning, he was gone.
I know, I put Jake Keane in. Look how that's gone.
Jake Keane?
Do you remember I said Jake Keane as a joke?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're nearly right. Anyway, he's gone. Oh, he's gone as well, hasn't he? Goalkeeping
Stop naming
department.
Keepers at this rate.
Go on, then in goal, who are you going with?
Slocum's got to be on it.
It's a tricky one. I'm going to go Sam Slocum. Right wing back, I think it'll be Dion Kelly Evans again, with Brinley, Cameron, and Chickson. I really like Chickson. He never, ever, ever puts a foot wrong.
Chickson hat trick.
No, it's not going to be a Chickson hat trick. And then Taylor. What's your defence?
I would go Dion, right wing back, Brinley, right centre back Lacey, left centre back Cameron, left wing back Taylor.
Yeah, a few people saying unchanged from Tuesday, what they'll go with. Midfield, Vincent and Palmer seem to have that locked down now, don't they? So, pretty much. Vincent and Palmer for me as well. And then Cal, Ruben and Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd agree. I mean, that side should be good enough to be, I don't want to be rude here, but it should be good enough to beat Dagenham. It should be. Yeah. Karen, I want to see more from Mitchell. I want to see him play more, but he seems to have a great game, and then the next game is completely anonymous, like not even slightly anonymous. Like you don't even know he's playing. I think I said to you on the Tuesday night game, was it? Did he start up against Rochdale? I think he did, didn't he? Him and Wharton up top. I said to you, like Mitchell was playing, and you literally forgot he was playing.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really good enough. Yeah,
I agree.
So, score predictions then. Before we do the score prediction, I'm just looking. Tonight's question: is it too early to put your Christmas tree up? 64% of people saying it's too early to put their Christmas tree up. 36% saying it's not too early. George.
Well, I've briefly discussed the sofa situation at the start of the video. 8-month wait for the sofa. It came last week. We celebrated by putting the Christmas tree up.
Unbelievable. Look at that.
Unbelievable. I didn't do it, by the way. It's mainly my partner, but
I would say 1st of December.
I'd agree with you. I'd agree, but you know.
But there is one going up in my house this Saturday, and I will not be putting that up. Look at that. Straight away, George. They'd be disgusting, George, it says.
Disgusting,
Absolutely
George.
Disgusting.
Chicks and
far too early, 1st of December. You know, this is really what the show should be based on. Wrong.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Wrong.
Very strong word. Okay, score predictions then. I went first last week, George. So, what are you saying? Dagenham and Redbridge at Medellin.
I think the squad are going to put on a show for us. You know, I feel like we're going to get a good win. Put a few of our doubts to rest. 3-0 knots. Wotton to get 2, and Cal to get 1.
Okay. Well, I say Cal every week. I'm gonna go for something. I'm gonna say 2-0 knots. I'm gonna say 2-0 knots. And I'm gonna go Cal Roberts because he's due a goal, and I'm gonna go Matty Palmer because he's due a goal. That's what I'm going for. You know, Saturday night games. I like a Saturday night match. I think decent. So let's see how many people are at Medley. It's a must-win game. Teams around us again having pretty more movement than Eli. There's some cracking comments. Your tree has more movement than Eli. That's actually going to be put up on the screen.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I'll quickly put your score predictions up. I'll put as many up as well. I'll just put a few up. So we've got the 3-0 Eli Sam hat-trick. We've got 5-0 Knots. We've got 4-1. Any of these would be great. I'd love a clean sheet. We've got 3-1 Knots, Cal and Cal times 2 and Ruben. Here's your favourite, George, every week.
Chicks and
3-1, Chicks and hat-trick. We've got Chris saying would love a convincing 3-0. Yeah, definitely. Not sure about this one. I won't put my money on 7-0 Michael Doyle.
All 7.
2-0 both Cal. I think, I think there's some very sensible ones in there. I think there's some that, you know, if you're backing that, you can probably afford 3 or 4 Christmas trees if that comes in, because there's some unbelievable scorelines there. Comment in the video goes to Ian, though, about the movement of George's Christmas tree. So,
yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, we hope you're excited for next Friday. Got Ruben Rodriguez, obviously, on the channel. Tomorrow, look out for our tweet. There will be questions. Well, somewhere where you can post questions, and we'll pose them. We'll ask Ruben, and hopefully that will show up on the video as one of your questions. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and it would massively help us if you subscribe to the channel.